disconnect from what the project is actually about, but it has a certain kind of mood that you want to maybe put into your concept that's in the picture. So I usually try to go out and take a lot of photography, go into the city or whatnot, go up into the mountains and take some pictures. And I think pictures and reference are tremendously, very, very, very important to try to draw, to try to support your concepts, One of the things that helps make a concept more believable is to have that believability in it. And I think that a lot of that really comes from research, understanding your project, really getting to understand the subject matter, and also the reference is very, very important.
All right. Thanks a lot, James. The next question we have is from Fernando. He asks, I would like to know which artists are you influenced by?
I'm influenced by almost any artist. While I was attending Art Center, we've always had our eyes on, the great artists that were out there, Craig Mullins, Feng Zhu, Ryan Church, and a lot of them were alumni of the school, which made it a bit more, exciting because we were basically following their footsteps. And, but a lot of the time, what ended up happening was I referenced back to a lot of old traditional painters that were, that you maybe studied like in an art history class, maybe from the Renaissance period, or Russian landscape painters. And a lot of the time, those digital artists that we'd look up to would reference those artists as well, and so it made a lot of sense to almost be looking at what inspirational material they were looking at rather than looking at them themselves. I remember being in a workshop with Craig Mullins one time, and he was saying, a lot of people are looking at his work for inspiration and, basically to get, to kind of study off of him. One of the things that he said was it's important not to really look at him, but look at some of the reference that he looks at, which made a lot of sense, So he was looking at a lot of great traditional painters and things like that, and, that was really, really kind of eye-opening. But right now, a lot of my like coworkers and peers and just industry, other people working in industry have really, really great work, and I admire their work a lot, But I try not to look at their work too much before maybe starting a project. I don't want it to look like theirs. I want it to be more of my own invention. So, but people like John Wallen, Dusso, Jamie Jones, all those people that are just incredible painters, incredible artists, So that's pretty much who I look at.
No problem. The next question we have is from Art S. Art asks, have you ever done concept for animation, and how is it that different from game? And the second part of this question is, are American game companies different from Japanese game companies in terms of design and direction? Because he's interested in working in Japanese game company. So there's a two-part question there.
Okay, to answer the first part, I haven't really done anything for animation directly, so my knowledge of that is going to be a bit limited. However, I can understand that, whether it's a film or a video game or even a animated film, much of the design process is very similar in the sense that you have a story. The story is going to drive the whole project. You're basically trying to design around all of those elements and be very, have a lot of liberty to design, but making sure that it's keeping true to what, the project is really about. And within any project, there's always going to be a period called like a high concept phase or blue sky phase, which is just a time to have the artist go basically buck wild and come up with the most interesting ideas as possible and basically lay them out on a table. And you know, a lot of the writers and producers or whatnot can start kind of picking and choosing, hey, this is a really cool idea. Maybe we can, you know, go in that direction, or, you know, we love this mood for maybe this part of the story. So, you know, all projects are always going to have that sort of phase, you know. So that's going to be pretty much across the board. For the second part of the question is, I haven't worked with any Japanese companies in Japan. You know, I know that they have a very kind of strict guideline of how they like to develop games, because essentially they're developing their game for almost a different culture, you know, very, very different from the way games are created in the States. I know that, you know, they have, you know, the things that kids like maybe over there are going to be different from what they like over here. Some of the laws and regulations of what can be in a game are a bit different as well. So I think those are going to be some of the limitations. But I haven't had much experience working with a Japanese developer actually. So yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah.
No problem. Our next question is from Victor Luna. Victor asks, can you explain your method where you use curves and where you add a layer in black? He said he doesn't quite understand what you did to blend the textures in the painting.
Okay, well, let me see. Let me talk a little bit about the curves right now. The thing about curves is it's a great way to add in a slight kind of variance in value without losing your drawing, you know. So while I'm painting some stuff over here, if I wanted to add in some lighter tones or, you know, darker tones, I basically would have to just kind of be painting on top of everything that I've just done, you know, like I'm doing right now. But if I didn't want to lose, you know, some kind of design element that's in this painting, what I could do is just go into my curves. And hold on 1 second. I can go into curves right over here and basically just, whoops, let's see, basically just draw up this line right here. And that's automatically going to make the value lighter. If I turn this on and off, you can see that. Now, the thing about the curves is there's going to be a mask layer attached to it. That mask layer is going to be you can manipulate it by, if you paint black on top of it, it's going to erase it. And if you paint white on top of it, it's going to bring it back. So I have black selected in my brush, and I can just paint on top of all that, and it's going to make it disappear. Now, if I go back to white, my color is white right now, I'm able to basically come in on here and draw in some of my lighter values, you know. So whatever I want to do, whatever kind of lighting scheme that you kind of want to come up with, it's a really easy way to kind of play around with that. So, and if maybe I made a mistake, I could go black, you know, select my black color again, and basically, you know, slowly kind of paint out some of the areas that I don't want. I can select white again, you know, I can go in there. And another thing that's kind of cool about this is you can compound them, so I can go even lighter again, okay, and basically just paint in a little bit more light in a certain area, you know, that's maybe getting hit with some direct light, you know. So that's what I really love about curves, especially if you have a actual line drawing that's under here and you don't want to keep on painting it and painting it and painting it. You can put down some base value, you know, some grays, a little bit of dark there, a little bit lighter over there. But when you want to play around with some lighting, you can definitely use the curves, and it won't get rid of any of your drawings. So that's really one of the great things to do. What was the second part of the question?
Oh no, that basically, I think you answered it actually.
Okay.
The second part that he didn't understand how that process worked, but you went through it. So I think that works out pretty good.
The thing with curves is that it's a